Hello, lovely. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Very well indeed.
How's your summer? Not very
Where?
summery yet.
Where? Come on. I mean, please. It's just, I hung my jeans out today and I went running outside and went, it's raining again.
I know. I feel like I'm in a constant, like, where it goes hot, then it's cold, and then it's raining. It's like a constant, like, menopausal cycle that everybody's going through.
What? So my dad's in his 80s. And he said yesterday he doesn't ever remember a summer as bad as this. So I'm sticking to that.
Yeah, but apparently next week, 3 weeks heat wave.
Yeah, great, thanks.
Yeah.
Actually, that's when I'm going to be on breakfast. I'm sitting in for Chris Evans for a couple of weeks. And so when it's sunny first thing in the morning, it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful.
It's the best time of the day, isn't it? Because obviously I start work super early as well in the morning, and it is the best time of day, and especially in London, isn't it? When it's all quiet and the sun's up.
I love it.
But I'm going to be in a motorhome. I'm hiring a motorhome next week and going along the Devon coast.
Oh, how lovely!
Which should be fun, right? As long as
nice.
I'm kind of thinking that we may need some sort of family counselling or certainly marriage guidance by the end of it. But
how are you, lovely Helen? Because I mean, you and I knew each other in the TV world, and through Future Dreams.
Yeah,
and you're incredible. I mean, I just in awe of you. Really, you're amazing.
Thank you. No, do you know what? I'm doing super well. So I had my breast reconstruction done about 8 weeks ago now. And you know what? I feel really good. And I think that it's sort of the final bit of surgery that I've had to have done. And I feel like I'm sort of closing the door on it a little bit, which is brilliant. But what it's kind of like got me to do is to look at shining a torch on other cancers. So I don't want to just be talking about breast. I'm really interested in learning about other cancers. And that was why I picked up the phone to you, because last month it was Sarcoma Awareness Month. Obviously, we should know our bodies inside out every day of the month. You know, it shouldn't just be one particular month of the year.
Yeah.
But August is Lung Cancer Awareness Month, which when I was reading...
Sorry, I'm going to stop you, Helen. Look, there's somebody here called Wendy, who I think you need to talk to Wendy. She says she's missed 3 mammograms.
Is that by choice or because they've been cancelled? Because apparently, I know it's a postcode lottery, but they should be starting to get back up to speed on it. But that would really stress me out. Yeah. You know, why 3 mammograms as well? I've missed 3 mammograms.
Let's find out.
That's interesting.
Tell us,
Wendy.
Why?
Yeah, I'm scared.
She's
bless
scared.
you, sweetheart. Yeah, that's a really hard one, isn't it?
You know, so from somebody who's gone for mammograms and hasn't, thank God, gone through what Helen and many of Helen and I, we've got friends who have. Please go, Wendy, go. I have to tell you, I am terrified when I go. I'm not lying about it. I've stood on stage and talked about this. It is scary, but it's much better that you know and that
absolutely, absolutely. And actually, what I always say is that I don't bang on about this to try and scare people. It's just about knowing what your normal is. And as long as you know what your normal is, then if anything unusual happens, you can get it checked out, you know.
And the people are so lovely. When you go along, I remember one of the times I went, and I'd just been speaking to my friends beforehand, and I went in and I just went, ooh, I started crying and going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh, there we go. So Wendy's had COVID. She's got COPD. She couldn't cope with any more bad news. You know what, Wendy? Do it. Do it. Please, please go. It is scary. It's not nice. It's not comfortable.
Yeah.
But my God, the feeling when you leave and you've done it.
Yeah, and it's done. It's like going for the smear when you have to have your smear done.
Yeah.
When I had my referral to my consultant, she said, oh, we'll do a mammogram, and it was literally on the spot. I had to go into the room next door, and the equipment, I was like, oh my God, what is this? Actually, it had all been done, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I think I'd take a mammogram over a smear. I think
we just need to do it all. We're just
all
honest about it. It's not nice. It's not something you're going to choose. But
no,
do it. And I know you're scared. You know what? So many people are scared.
I know.
But if you've got a friend that you can call just beforehand, as I do, and my friends do, we all call each other up and go, okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. When you come out, you go, yeah, I've done it.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah. She's had itchy nipples. Just get it checked out, Wendy. Keep us posted. DM me after you've been. Let that be like a incentive that you're going to go off and do that.
Good girl. Go for it, Wendy.
I think that's so important, isn't it? Yeah, mammograms are easier. Thank you, Chris. I totally agree. So I wanted to shine a torch this month on lung cancer because I read a shocking headline. I don't know if anybody else saw this headline, and that was that 2/3 of us, if they had a persistent cough, wouldn't go for more than 3 weeks, wouldn't go to the GP, even if they had tested negative to COVID. It's almost like people are just more focused on, oh, could this be COVID? Do a test, then it's not, and then they let it go. And so I just wanted to chat to you, Gaby, just to talk about why it's so important that we don't ignore stuff like that.
We mustn't ignore any of it. The reason you're asking me about this is that my mum died of lung cancer over 24 years ago. She was very young. She was a smoker. It was smoking related.
How old was she, Gaby?
She was 62.
That's so young.
Smoking related lung cancer, and she had a blood clot on her lung that hid the cancer. So all of us didn't know about her cancer. Dad had bowel cancer in one hospital, and Mum had lung cancer in another hospital. Actually, as I said, we didn't know that she had lung cancer. So Dad had his bowel cancer, and thank God got through it. Got a super bug while he was there. So he's had to stay in hospital for a while. Then Mum was in and out of hospital because she was still coughing up blood. And then she went back in. She was on warfarin, all sorts of things. She went back in. Dad just came out of hospital, and she came to tell us that she had lung cancer. And I think none of us were really surprised, if I'm honest. You know, she was coughing up a lot of blood. And my uncle, who's a doctor, I rung him straight away to find out about it. Then I remember the oncologist calling me and saying they didn't know how long she had. So I think they said it could be any time she could live for another 6 months. And she died about 6 weeks after diagnosis. And that's what I keep hearing from a lot of people. So I talk about it all the time. Yeah. I think it's really important that we talk about it. I've done a lot with every year they ask me to do a video about lung cancer. The most important thing is if you have a persistent cough, if you have a persistent cough, please go and see your GP. And I know right now people are scared. So we heard from Wendy, she's scared about a mammogram. She's had COVID. There's a lot of fear. There's so much fear around at the moment. But as with other cancers, if you go and you have it checked out, you know, everything, the sooner you go, the better. The sooner you go, the better.
Because actually it's one of those cancers that if you do catch it early, it can be very treatable. But unfortunately, 3/4 of those diagnosed, it's already too late. Because I think sometimes a cough can just be seen as, oh, it's just a cough, it's all right, I'm not that bad. You know, I think, you know, with breast cancer, if you find a lump, maybe you feel more inclined to go and see somebody about it. But a cough, and I know what us women are like as well, that we are more inclined to put our sort of health at the bottom of the pile. You know, when you're dealing with kids and work and everything else, it's like, oh, I'll call them next week, I'll go next week, it'll be all right. So
I think that's the thing. My mum was a very, very strong woman, very strong woman. And she spoke her mind. But she was, you know, she wanted Christmas and all of this, and then she just, I'm fine. Even to the extent that in her final day, my dad, on the day that Mum died, my dad got his all clear.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
but obviously he didn't get it that day, but he was meant to be going to the doctor that day. He didn't go because Mum died in the morning. And but the day before, she'd said to my dad, I'm sure you're all so I'm really pleased. Sorry, can we just say,
oh, Wendy just said she's going to
Wendy,
make a call tomorrow. You better, Wendy. I want to hear.
that's
Bless
fantastic.
you.
That is fantastic. Really, really fantastic.
Did your dad get to see your mum?
Yeah. He was out of hospital.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. He had it. He was diagnosed the February of the year before, and Mum died the following February. But
right.
So Dad had been out of hospital a while. Right. But what was I saying? Oh yes, that he got. So the day before Mum died, she said to him, "I know you're okay now. You're okay now." And he had been very ill because he'd had his bowel cancer. Then he had the superbug, which had meant that he then had a stroke. So all of that happened, and Mum just kept going. And I think, in a way, I know it's a funny thing to say, but I think that kept her going because she had to look after Dad. So he got the all clear the day that she died. So
and then she was she probably then relaxed almost and yeah. Oh, Gaby,
I do feel like I talk about another lifetime ago though, because it's very, very important to talk about it. So when Dad was ill with cancer, my father worked for the BBC. He was an announcer and a radio broadcaster. I think that's where I must get it from. And he wanted to talk about bowel cancer. Lovely bowel babe, who you and I both know. Deb, my dad adores her, and she's always asking how Dad's doing. But he wanted to talk about it, and I remember doing ITV news and with Dad, because they asked him if he'd talk about bowel cancer, and the reporter said, "This is great, but can you please not say the word bowel, not say the word poo, not say the word bottom?" And my dad said, "No, I'm going to say it all." And then in the interview, the guy said, "Gaby, you're not going to say it." I went, "I am. We're here to talk about bowel cancer."
Yeah.
People talk about breast cancer. People talk about testicular cancer. Thank God.
Yeah.
People talk about lung cancer.
Yeah. People don't talk about it, do they? No. As much. I don't think that they do. And I was talking to somebody the other day who's got a rare blood cancer, and she was saying, nobody talks about blood cancer. It's not bloody fair, and it's really not bloody fair.
Yeah, literally.
There are all these others, and I know that people do get frustrated that a lot of light is shone on breast cancer. And I was talking to Bowel Babe actually, and she's very passionate about, it should be the love should be shared amongst it all. But she's been a real trailblazer, hasn't she? Like Lynn Foles Wood as well. She stuck her neck out talking about.
Can I just say, somebody said on here, bowel cancer kills. Yes, it can. But my dad, it's 25 and a half years, and he's been fine. So you can absolutely, you really, really can survive bowel cancer. So
that's Man Chooch. She's a friend called Chris, and she actually lost her son to bowel cancer. She had breast cancer herself, but her son, Chris, I think.
How old was he?
I think he was young. I think he was at sort of late 30s, I think. But yeah, she's been through the mill.
Yeah, and I think it's really important though that everybody always says, "Oh, how awful your mum died of cancer," and for me, he was 25. Oh, bless you. Send you so much love. That's just awful. That's heartbreaking. But that far too young. There I am saying that my mum at 62 was too young. She'd had, a lovely life. She'd had our two of us, and she was happy. Yeah. But people do survive cancer, and they do. That's why what you do is so important as well. And I think it's really, really important that everybody talks about the people who survive them and get cancer.
Yeah.
My dad had this great friend of his who She was older than him, so I think she only died quite recently. She'd had breast cancer, bowel cancer, 2 heart attacks. She was still going strong.
No.
Yeah.
Somewhat greedy, I'd say. My goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, you're so sweet. She's saying that your mum was still too young.
I know. But 25, I'm so sorry, Chris. I really, really am. I just think that's unbelievably cruel. And actually, let's not beat around the bush. That cancer is unbelievably cruel. It's horrible.
There was just a question back here. Let me just see if I can find it. Do you know what the other symptoms are of lung?
Well, no, I'm not a specialist, so I know about the persistent cough. So if you've got a persistent cough, and you can rule out COVID, of course, but please, you know, our friend Dr. Amir, who you and I know very, very well, and he always says, just if you are worried, go to your GP. And you know what? So occasionally you will have those GPs that say, I just haven't got time and I can't see you, or if they send you away and say everything's fine. If you think there's something wrong, please go and see a doctor. You could be completely fine. Of course you can be. Also, if you're coughing up blood, if you've got blood in your poo, you know, all of these things, just go to the doctor. Please go to the doctor. They're more and more aware of it than they were in my dad's day. You know, 25 years ago, it has changed.
Yeah.
Oh, look, the Roy Castle lung cancer. I mean, Roy was an amazing man.
Oh, my goodness. That's a blast from the
persistent
past.
cough, weight loss, breathlessness, coughing up blood, pain in your shoulder or back. Yes, I should have remembered that one as well. Pain in your shoulder or back.
So I also read that so it's the most common cause of cancer death, lung cancer is, and 72% is caused by smoking. I didn't realise it was as high as that.
Yeah, my mum, she was a smoker. She was a heavy smoker. She started smoking when she was very young. And she always says she wished she hadn't.
How did it change your outlook on life, seeing your parents go through such trauma?
Well, I then made it my mission to read, learn, research as much as I could about health and nutrition.
Yeah.
And I'm still passionate about it to this day. So that's 25 years I've been reading it. I don't just read a pull out from a magazine. I go and I get the latest medical research. I'm fascinated by health and nutrition before it was a trendy thing. I have a food allergy, a real allergy, not just a trendy one. To wheat, I get very ill from it, and so I have to be careful what I eat. So I've just learned everything I possibly can, and about health and about nutrition and how it all works together. Another guy I know, you know, medicinal chef Dale Pinnock, who's a dear friend of mine. He's just fascinating to talk to, and Amelia Freer, all these people who really know their stuff. Jane Clark, the amazing Jane Clark, the nutritionist, cannot recommend her highly enough. All these people, I've interviewed them, I've met them, I've made it a real thing to learn more and more and more and more, but also about how our fitness is important, also about what we're putting in is important, all of those things.
Because is that as well a big driver for because you're on walks all the time? Like, does a day go by where you're not on a really long walk? Do you do that every single day?
I try to every day. At the moment, working at Virgin, I managed to walk 9 or 10 miles. So it's 9 miles there. But
you walk to work?
Yeah. And what I do now is and I'll tell you, about 4 or 5 years ago, and this is not an advert, but my husband bought me a Fitbit because I like tech.
Right.
And I love a gadget. And I thought, oh, I quite like the idea of that. And he bought me one. And I literally started going, oh my goodness. Is that how far that is? I'm just looking how many I've done today. Is that how far that is? And it built and it built and it built. And I realized that what I could do, I know exactly the time I'm going to get everywhere now. Yes. I don't, it's better for the environment. It's better for my heart. It's better for my soul. It's better for my head. I have more ideas. I mean, few series of Gabby's Talking Pictures, which we're talking about coming live again into the theatre again. Now we can go back into theatre. But that all came from me walking, because I was thinking about stuff. There's another show that I'm working on, which that's from walking. You look at space, you look at the sky, you hear
look
things.
Up.
Always.
You look up. It's funny. I've just before I came on to talk to you, I had to go and pick up my daughter from a camp that she was at for the day. And when I got there, all the parents are all down looking at their phones like this. And I thought, my God, they all look like zombies. And I thought, that I'm one of them. I do exactly the same thing.
No,
as soon
really
as there is
important.
a second where you're not doing something, you're
up.
down looking at your phone. It is important to look up. Yeah.
Listen as well. So I also put in my meetings. So if I have meetings, and these days everybody's meetings are on the phone or on Zoom or whatever, I put it in, but everyone now knows that I'll be walking. So my agent, she knows that I'll be walking. So we have the conversation and I'm walking. And also I look up, I look into the trees and I listen. Really important to listen. Don't put headphones in, unless you want to listen to my podcast, then that's fine. But even when you listen to it, you can take those out afterwards and you just hear noises, hear birds, but hear conversation. And I get a lot from people's conversation. And I stop and I talk to everybody. I am the person that, I've met the singing garbage collector, which he calls himself, although I still call it rubbish, but garbage now, American. I've met the singing traffic warden. People stop and ask me, come and say, dance with us. I mean, it is incredible. And I'll always say, hello, how are you to people? I just think all of that is lovely.
It just makes a difference to your day, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. Really does.
Oh, Gabby, it's just so lovely to talk to you. I love following you on Instagram just because you're just so positive. You're like the female version of Dr. Amir. That sort of, it's like just sunshine, basically.
Oh,
I love
that's
it.
so lovely.
So thank you.
Do you know, Amir was here. And of course he was standing in our garden, and we just had to dance and laugh because life is too short. And actually that's the biggest lesson that I learned was after Mum died. I remember I started doing a Saturday night show called Whatever You Want, and it was only a few weeks after she died, and weirdly Mum had seen a newspaper article about a new show. She said, that's the sort of show you should be doing. And then no, seriously, that's completely true. But I started doing Whatever You Want, and I was doing all the press, and the press said to me, oh, so sorry to hear about your mom and your dad. I suppose you always go on about being happy. And what I used to do for years, so in the years of doing telly before Mum died, I always used to say, I really am happy. So sorry, I really am. Sorry. And then after Mum died, I thought, and I remember saying to the press, I'm never saying sorry for being happy again. I am happy. I like to have a laugh. I was Pollyanna as a child and always played the glad game. I always thought if I played tennis, it was to fall over to make people laugh, because I just thought that's much more fun than wanting to win. I didn't get that. So I just was like, oh, well, if I turn around and walk into a wall, that's funny. And make me laugh and make everybody else laugh. So I'm never apologizing for being happy and positive again.
We all need to be a bit more
life
happy.
Is precious.
Life really is, and it absolutely is. And we should embrace each day. Smiling and happiness is just a choice. It is a choice, Abby.
And jump.
Absolutely.
Now, there's 2 things to do. So these are some things that I've learned.
Gabby.
Here are 3 things, okay?
Okay.
When you wake up, the very first thing you do when you wake up is you do this. So I go on about it all the time. If you smile, and it's a known thing. So I started doing it years ago, and then I started reading about it. I thought, oh my word.
But do you actually do this with your thing?
No,
or do
it's to smile. But in the beginning, you might feel
right.
really like you can't do it. So you just, literally, the minute you feel yourself waking, you do this. And instantly your brain is is fooled into the day, and you start the day better. It's incredible. Don't turn to look at your phone and check the weather and all of those things.
Yeah.
Just smile. Another thing that we don't do, okay. Apparently, House of Cards. I enjoyed that. House of Games, I think you mean.
House of Games.
So you put your hands in the air. Just seriously do it now, Helen. And you do it for about 20 seconds and just keep stretching with your arms in the air, because nobody puts their arms in the air anymore. There's a fascinating book about it. I'm not joking.
No.
Now, drop that. Now you feel tingles in your fingers.
Yeah, and your shoulders as well.
Yeah, and it energizes you. The other thing to do is just jump.
Jump.
When you leave the house, jump. If you can, if you're able to.
I'm not very good at jumping.
Why?
Give it a go.
Jump now.
All sorts of things happen when I jump. Hang on a minute.
No, just one jump. You don't have to do many.
I like it in the top.
There we go.
There we go. I've jumped.
She's jumped.
My neighbours are going to be like, what the bloody hell is she doing next door?
Just say, I was jumping.
Jumping. Gabby told me to do it. Oh, listen, let me let you go. I need to go get my lasagna in the oven for the kids.
Is it veggie lasagna or meat lasagna?
But veggie and lentil.
Lovely. More plant-based.
So all plant-based, Jess.
Lovely.
Not always, I have to say. Lovely to see you, and thank you ever so much, everybody, for joining us. And do spread the word. You know, if anybody you know or you yourself has a persistent cough or anything like that, please get it
and
checked out.
And as we've learned, that back, shoulders, persistent cough, breathlessness, or coughing up blood, please.
Yes.
Be careful.
Go be more Gabby and wake up tomorrow. Smile, stretch, jump.
Perfect. There we go.
Perfect.
You are lovely, Helen. I just
sending so much love. All
Send
the
my
best,
love to
everyone.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.